Please stand away from the platform edge.
New York City, September 4th, 2022. We made our way to One World Trade Center on a Saturday afternoon. We had just been at Washington Park, watching the throngs of locals and tourists commingle. The locals with blankets stayed in the grassy parts while the tourists took photos and looked at the buildings. I had never seen the World Trade Center, though it lingers ubiquitous in my memory like a childhood experience as part of my definition of the New York City skyline. But its absence and the replacement by tacky contemporary steel and glass behemoths make the gaping maw as memorials that now exist where buildings 1 and 2 once sat seem even more noticeable, like a smile with no front teeth. The skyline I grew up knowing as a child from movies and television is so different from my collected memory of images. If it strikes me that profoundly, I can only wonder what it's been like for lifelong New Yorkers. Despite what the chorus of honking horns and forceful shouldering on sidewalks might tell you, New Yorkers are warm to visitors. The first hour stuck in the city found folks using Metro cards and opening subway exits to let 2 country mice sneak in and get to the safety of their hotel. The first night, at a small bar eatery in the Bronx, we met Brian, former vet, and born and raised in the area. A chef who had survived cancer and was managing the place, improving the menu and cocktail list to compete with Manhattan, a task no doubt monumental. Even when Brian told us to get away from the Bronx ASAP, he said it with the adoration in his heart that only someone with deep love and knowing of a place can. The Museum of Modern Art had something in common with the Louvre in that one small painting is the star of the show. The real gems are hidden and more difficult to understand, but some of them tell a history of the city from the ground and the streets. Maybe some of the rougher edges of New York City from 40 years ago have been worn down and tamed, like weathered brick and stone, but there still exists an edge where people are living. The Bronx felt intimidating at night. Harlem felt wild by the day. Midtown felt like San Francisco. Downtown felt like the movies and one of the last vestiges of mid-20th century classic New York, the way Prague feels like 18th century classic Europe. And everywhere different languages from people of different countries run rampant. Spend enough time listening and you'll hear more words that you don't know than the New York accent you think should be more prevalent. Still, the city persists and lives on, contained and free, wild and tamed, scary and yet comforting, closed off and welcoming. The city of contradictions, of complete economic despair and endless aspirations. A city of boundless dreams and nightmares.
Move along. Beautiful stacks.
Yay, New York.